You know, you look like a very young audience. This is a very young audience. Vous êtes une foule très jeune. Because I'm looking out here, and I don't think many of you remember the 70s. Does anyone here remember the 70s? Yeah, you remember the 70s? You remember platform shoes? You remember afros? You remember afros? Okay, all right. Do you remember Ottawa in the 1970s? Some of you remember Ottawa in the 1970s? The black community in the 1970s in Ottawa was not very large, right? I was part of that community. It was actually quite small. I wasn't a baby. No, certainly not. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I wasn't a baby. You know, I was alive during, was I alive during the October crisis? I was born just after the October crisis in 1970. But the idea at that time that we would have a city councillor who would be black was hard to imagine at that time. So when Rawlson King became the first black city councillor, when he was elected, it was a significant moment, right? A historic moment for the city, and a very proud moment for those of us who have been here for a while, and of course for those people who are here now. Rawlson King is the deputy mayor and councillor for Ward 13, Rideau-Rockcliffe. As I mentioned, he's Ottawa's first black city councillor. He was initially elected in a historic by-election held in April 2019 and was re-elected in October 2022. During the 2018-2022 council term, Rawlson was appointed Council Liaison for Anti-Racism and Ethnocultural Relations Initiatives and was responsible for the creation of the city's Anti-Racism Office and Strategy. Please give a very warm welcome to Rawlson King.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, distinguished guests, community leaders, and friends. As we gather during Black History Month, we are reminded of the profound contributions that African Canadians have made to our nation's story. This month serves not only as a celebration of our heritage and achievements, but also as a renewed call to action for building a more equitable future. But before I begin, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that the peoples of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation have lived on this territory for millennia. Their culture and presence have nurtured and continue to nurture this land. As Ottawa's Council Liaison for Anti-Racism and Ethnocultural Relations Initiatives, it is my distinct honor to address you at this year's African Day on the Hill, its 10th anniversary. Tonight we celebrate not just the remarkable achievements of the African Canadian Association of Ottawa, but the vibrant spirit of unity and progress that defines our community. The African proverb tells us, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. ACAO embodies this wisdom through its role as an umbrella organization of 53 African country associations and ethnocultural groups. This unified approach has changed and has created a powerful platform for change in our city. Let me share with you how ACAO's comprehensive programming is transforming lives across Ottawa. Their innovative community safety program, as example, is reshaping the future of our youth, channeling their energy into positive community service and leadership development. The Youth Entrepreneurship and Mentorship Program is opening doors to professional success, creating pathways to meaningful employment and business opportunities. What truly sets ACAO apart is their understanding that community well-being requires a holistic approach. In addressing basic needs, ACAO has shown remarkable initiative. Their housing program, as example, that's being provided in conjunction with funding from the City of Ottawa, has already provided permanent homes to families in need with plans for expansion. Their food security program delivers culturally relevant support to vulnerable community members. And I'm particularly impressed by ACAO's commitment to both ends of our demographic spectrum. Their youth hockey program breaks down barriers to Canada's national winter sport, while their seniors program preserves cultural wisdom and fights isolation through initiatives like the Let's Talk program. This intergenerational approach strengthens the fabric of our community. As your council liaison, I've witnessed firsthand how Akawa's work aligns perfectly with our city's goals for equity and inclusion. Their participation in policy discussions and ability to mobilize community response, as demonstrated during the pandemic through the African Caribbean Canadian Coalition, makes them an invaluable partner in Ottawa's governance. Looking ahead, the challenge before us is to build upon these achievements. Akawa has shown us what's possible when we combine vision with action, when we unite our diverse African communities while maintaining their unique cultural identities, and when we approach community development with both ambition and pragmatism. In closing, I want to recognize everyone who has contributed to Akawa's success, because Akawa is not just this gala. It's an amazing amount of programming that is delivered to our community. And that's delivered through the staff, the volunteers, community partners, and supporters. Your dedication makes these achievements possible. As we celebrate tonight, let us also commit to strengthening our support for Akawa's vital work. Together, we can ensure that Ottawa's African Canadian community continues to thrive, continues to contribute, and continues to shape the future of our great city. Thank you so much, and enjoy your evening.